doing it? We're doing it. We're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the College Hockey Show. We're back. I can't wait for more college hockey.
It's going to be a good day, folks. It's going to be a good day. Lots of upsets, and let's get the elephant out of the room. All right. Yes, I was at USA Canada last night. It was awesome.
Yes.
It was a bucket list.
Congrats, Canada.
I'm doing it again. I'm gonna.
I would just like to see the U.S. beat Canada once before I die in a game that means something.
So
that's my thing. So in 1996, I was in U.S. Army basic training and did not get to see the 96 World Cup of Hockey. U.S. best of three kicked the crap 5-2 out of Canada 2 games in a row after losing the first game 4-3. The best team ever assembled. Gretzky, Lemieux, the U.S. beat them with Billy Guerin, Keith Tkachuk. And I just thought, Billy Guerin's the GM. Keith Tkachuk's sons are animals. We're doing it. And we had them, man. We had them, and we didn't finish them off.
I think the highlights for me last night were when overtime started, Johnny Hockey broke out through the entire arena. Didn't matter who you were rooting for.
That was the biggest.
Dropped, Johnny Hockey banged for probably the first 5 minutes of OT.
That's the biggest reason why I'm devastated for the U.S. fans. Just, I thought with Johnny Hockey in heaven type thing, we're going to get a break where the puck doesn't break our way. And it looked like, Hellebuck kept them in there. The first, I give Canada a lot of credit, could have been winning that game 3-0.
Easy.
3-1. I mean, if I didn't hate the Brady Tkachuk goal, I thought it was a great move by Matthews. Matthews was all over the ice. He wasn't where he needed to be in the last play of the game, man. And I'll debate forever that icing, but we got college hockey to talk about. We are how many days away? We are like 6 weeks away from Frozen 4.
My flight is 46 days away.
Yeah, so that's about 7 weeks. Like 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
Just about 6 weeks from the Frozen 4. We'll be together in St. Louis. We'll be broadcasted live right here on the Sports Beard, and we're going to try to talk to some people there. But regardless, it's going to be unbelievable.
I love Enterprise Arena. I love it. I've been there a couple times. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I haven't been, and I was obviously when the Blues played the Bruins, I was rooting for them, not because I hate the Bruins, but because I just want to see somebody else that hasn't won win. And I would just say it looks like an electric atmosphere. I think St. Louis fans, Tkachuk brothers grew up there, So one of your players, Trent Frederick's from there. That's on the Boston Bruins. So Pat Maroon's from there, 3-time Stanley Cup champion. So it's like St. Louis, for you consider it kind of a southern state, really, and they've had a team for a very, very long time. I know Tim Peel lives there. I know Darren Pang lived there. I mean, I know a lot of guys, like old time hockey guys, live there. So it's it's really cool, man, and I'm really excited. Who are we going to see there, Mike?
I am struggling. So earlier our first show, I said BC would get upset by somebody. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, though. The bracket that just came out,
dude, we didn't get to talk about it. We didn't get to talk about it because I missed last week. My
bracket that I already have tickets for is Manchester, New Hampshire. It's currently at BC is the 1 seed there. Sacred Heart's going to be the 4. The 2 seed is Denver. The 3 seed's BU. I don't know if BC gets out of that bracket. And it's not saying they're a bad team. It's just you have to beat Denver or BU. And they're not cupcakes. And I think it's awful for, that's currently the draw for BC. Obviously, guys, we have a lot of time. A lot of things could happen. And for those that don't know, Sacred Heart, they're projected to get an auto bid.
Because right now in the pairwise, Boston College 1, Michigan State 2, Minnesota 3, Maine 4, Western Michigan 5, Ohio State 6, tied with Boston University, but that's basically your 7th. Providence is 8th. So Connecticut 9, Denver 10, UMass Lowell 11. They have a big game this weekend, correct? And then Michigan, like you said, right on top of your list, they sweep Minnesota. I did watch that game. I kept wondering. I first thought it was in Minnesota, but was wondering why they had all these Humpty Dumpty eggs in the shape of the coach behind the coach of Michigan or Minnesota, Bob, what's Minnesota's coach? I'm sorry.
Now I'm
Yeah,
drawing a blank, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, what is happening here? Like, is this something he loves? And then I was like, oh, it's in Michigan, you dumbass. So, but I'm not a believer in Minnesota this year. But they could be there. Like it's gonna be how those brackets break out. Sorry, Big Willie, but they could be there. Minnesota could be there. So I'm excited just to see what happens. Again, you and I have talked about this. We had Colby going on a couple weeks ago. They need to reform these brackets. They need to have more teams in. It just makes no sense.
Colby agreed with us. That was something I thought was cool. You and I have
he didn't agree with us that he thinks there's going to be expansion, which you know what, man, I wonder if we had him on again just to after this Team Canada USA thing where people are like, we're gonna get better at hockey because the USA Hockey rolled out a whole new youth developmental program too that looks really promising. So
excellent.
Yeah, I mean grassroots across. That's the only way we're gonna get better than Canada is just by training and practicing and doing the right things. And I think not overplaying these kids. I think we burn these kids out too much. They specialize them too much. And I don't think you need to. I think the Canadian path is you make it to the NHL by your 18. I think the US path is you make it to the NHL by your 24. And you're developed, you've fully grown into your body, and that's what needs to happen. And I'm not saying what Canada does is bad. Obviously, what Canada does works. But the Crosby McDavids, those are 1 in a million players. They don't exist. The Ovechkins, the Jackie Eichels, those guys are rare commodity. Austin Matthews, unbelievable. Those guys don't grow on trees. They're very few and far between. People think they come out of the woodwork. We're talking about as a development for normal, everyday, average. These guys are freak at like the hand of God came down and touched them when they were in the womb and said, you will be an unbelievable hockey player. It's just the way it is. And you got to have the work ethic and all the other things have to fall in place for sure. It's not just that way, but yeah, I mean, and you and I being an advocate for the college hockey, like I like what I see from a lot of the US kids. And as the NHL grows and, it's only a benefit to these kids because there's a lot of pro leagues too. We don't even talk about Europe or KHL or whatever. All these guys can go on and play professional somewhere if they want to play hockey for a very long time, right? So
I get the BU background up. Brian Diffley, he was the seventh defenseman when Eichel was there. He was mostly a healthy scratch. He's playing in the Dell League over in Europe.
Yeah. I mean,
a picture for everyone.
He pops in a lot. Zach Boychuk, who played in the NHL, he pops in all the time. So I think it's Bob Motzko. Bob Motzko is the Minnesota coach. There you go. They had Bob Motzko's mocked up as Humpty Dumpty all over Yost Arena there. Anyway, Michigan sweeps them. UMass Amherst splits with BC. So BC loses the Bean Pot. That was huge. We didn't talk about that. We got to talk about that now because we weren't live. What a game. Yegorov is legit. Good for New Jersey. They got like they don't have to work. I mean, I was like, what are they going to do for goalie once Markstrom and Allen age out? They got Yegorov. He's going to be ready. He'll be ready in 3 years, and they'll be done with Markstrom. I mean, he'll be ready in 2 or 3 years to play in the NHL or to at least be a backup. That kid is a massive. He was the difference in that game, I thought. I mean, I didn't think BC played terrible, but I got to tell you, man, and we talked about this. I know Letourneau's on your photo. I mean, Cole Hudson blows him up on the. I mean, he's 6'7", bro. Cole Hudson's 5 foot what?
We'll say 5'10" for.
Okay, I thought he was listed at 5'9", and usually they give you an inch or two, but
I don't know. He might be 5'7", but
anyway,
we'll say 5'10".
We got to rehash it real quick. And congrats. I mean, Colby, you gave BU all the luck. I don't think Colby thought BU was going to beat BC. So Leonard and those guys go their whole career not winning a bean pot there because Northeastern won the previous 3. So I know Leonard's only been there 2 seasons, but so that's a disappointment if you're a BC alumnus. I know it's been a few years since you guys have won the Beanpot, and this was the 28th Beanpot for BU. Who they might as well call it Beanpot Universities.
We call it the BU Invitational.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, dude, for sure. But anyway, hats off to BU. I thought the earlier games were horrible, but I thought the championship game was awesome. You were there for it. What was the atmosphere? It's just
I think Colby highlighted it best when he was on. Like the first game for both days, it's a lull. It's not, it's missing something. Like the bands are there, your students are there, but people are just getting out of work. Like middle of the second period of the first game, there's some atmosphere, but it's 6:30. People have gotten out of work. But when 8:00 rolls around, and it is also an ode to I got to give Northeastern their students credit, even when it's a 5:00 game. There's been years they actually had it at 2 p.m. for the first game. They bring 8 sections worth of students.
Yeah, dude, I was so impressed with Northeastern last year. They were so fun to watch. I thought they were a lot like Quinnipiac too, just relentless defensively and stuff when Quinnipiac won the championship. Okay, real quick, you've got UMass Amherst splitting with BC, North Dakota splits with Denver, which, I mean, is that going to be enough to get North Dakota? I think it's too late for North Dakota, right?
I think so. Like they got to get real hot.
Yeah, it's too late.
But it hurts Denver. Like that's the bigger cause. Denver falls to 10.
They drop. Yeah, they're down to 10, but they're going to be in, and that's going to suck if they're in the first round for somebody, the defending national champions. Duluth takes 3 out of ASU, so that probably eliminates our Arizona State probably making it.
Yeah, again, another team that like they've got 6 games left, so.
Yeah, but Duluth is 40th. They're 40th. That's a bad. They had to take both those games. We said this.
Yeah, Arizona State fell to 15. They're out. They're out. You only make.
But again, if we had 32, it would be. It's so disappointing. I would love to see them there. But okay, who's the last team in that's not an auto bid? Which that needs to go away too.
I will say on the auto bids, I like every conference getting in. I like every conference getting one team.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If you go to a 32 team, you give auto bids to every conference, and then you can go on the pairwise. So you can give a conference champion, and then you can just use the pairwise. You already have it. If people think it's the better than the NCAA rankings, which the NCAA is usually reporters voting on it anyway, right? So
yeah. Last team in no auto bids is UMass Amherst. They jumped up.
No, but I mean, okay. So I see UMass Amherst is there 13. I'm asking you, are they the 13th bid?
No, I think Quinnipiac slides in. UMass, this is not a knock on you, but you guys the last couple of years haven't closed regular season strong. You didn't close against Bentley earlier this year. And I think they, as much as they have the strength of schedule to move up and solidify themselves, Quinnipiac wins in clutch times. I don't think they're that strong this year, but Quinnipiac just finds a way to win.
They're right. And you love their coach.
I love their coach. Oh my God, yeah. I don't know how he's not in the NHL, other than he doesn't want to be.
Graham Pecknold. No, sometimes you got a good thing. Sometimes he probably makes 6 figures. They're the creme de la creme at Quinnipiac. What is Quinnipiac known for outside of hockey? I know they have volleyball and stuff, but it's like they won a national championship 2 years ago, and they've been in the national championship in the last few years. They're a good team. And they can recruit that Northeast. They have good facilities. They've invested, again, this is, if you do it right, this is what it looks like. Man, I would dream to have the kind of success Quinnipiac has here in Alaska. We shouldn't have any problems because we can recruit Canadian kids.
I got to give a shout out to Hextall. He took them from a club team to D3 to D1. This is his baby.
Pecknold.
Pecknold. He took them from literally the ground up. That's why I love him. He built this. This is his thing. The guy's The guy, I don't know. I think he was wildly outgunned against Minnesota.
I said Graham. I meant Rand. Rand Pecknold.
The guy's the man. Like I think he's like a Jack Parker. I really do.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you know, you guys, Chicklets did an interview with him a while back. It's really good. You can get on there. I mean, obviously, it's somebody I would love to talk to at some point. As we grow and learn and get to know who we can get on, we will work on booking people for this show. Having Colby Cohen was great. That's why I was glad to move the time. Thanks again to Colby for a couple weeks ago. Really appreciate it. He's awesome. I feel like he knows everybody in hockey too. So
he's a cool dude. Like
he's a great guy to know, man. And I really appreciated him taking the time to come on. And the one thing about Colby, man, he's going to say what's on his mind. So, all right, well, let's get into your big games. I'm going to just let you go down them and just talk about them. And then you can get into your bets. And then we can just muck it up the last 5 minutes or whatever and talk about whatever you want to talk about.
That works. First one on the list, I have number 16, Penn State, number 2, Michigan State. Like, obviously, Michigan State's in. It's just...
Yeah, but this kid, Penn State sweeps this, they might make it in.
Right, yeah, that's what I mean. Penn State has the length to jump. Looking at the pairwise, they are... What are they at of 13?
You said 16. You have them 16.
They're 16. They are 4 100,000ths of a point out of 13, which is like the golden number in the pairwise.
By the way, the USCHO website has to be the worst website ever.
Yep.
Like so I don't know what it's like, buggy, it's like glitchy, it's got like pop-ups all over the place. It's like, come on, dude. I just want to read your rankings.
They have the mecca of college hockey, but I don't know. That's why I highlighted that game though. Like I think if they split, they jump up to 13. I'm assuming UMass doesn't do anything, crazy this weekend. But that's something I looked at. The next one's number 6, Ohio State, at number 3, Minnesota. I think Minnesota needs to get 3 points here to solidify themselves as a 1 seed. Like, I'm not knocking Michigan. That's obviously it's my favorite team. I think they're very good. But you lose 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row. I think they're out of a 1 seed at that point. Again, team definitely in the tournament. And then Ohio State's fighting to get a 1 seed. Which would be huge. Right now they're at 2, and they're not going to was it Allen County?
Ohio State you have written down as, I think you wrote 16 twice, but they're
6.
It's 6. Yeah, so they're in.
They're fighting for a 1, and that's what I mean.
Which
travel wise, it's huge.
They're a fairly new program too, right? Penn State and Ohio State are not very old programs, I believe, right?
No, they'll like, we've got 100 years, like as a club team or whatever. But like varsity,
right? But as far as Division I, they haven't been around that long.
No, but I mean, they are in the Big Ten. They're right there in the Mecca, and
they
picked it up quick.
I mean the players are there, right? So
Ohio State's getting 2 of the top American juniors next year, like our top 2 scorers out of the top 6.
I'm betting they have pretty nice facilities. Just gonna guess.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen their lacrosse facility, and I can only imagine hockey's got to have the same one.
Yeah.
Across the border rivals, the next game up, number 13 Amherst, number 18 UNH in New Hampshire. I think UNH is kind of out. But
yeah, this is huge for UMass, though. They got to win these games.
They can't lose. This is you can't lose this kind of game.
If they get swept by UNH, is it in New Hampshire?
It's in New Hampshire. Like, the Wit is not a friendly place to be.
I know our friend Johnny Lazarus is doing that game.
Is he really? Oh,
yeah.
Man, I love the Wit. That's honestly one of my favorite places to watch a game. Nothing. So far,
I've heard their fans are awesome too, man.
I will tell anyone this, like, go to a game at UNH during winter break. Like, if you go to a Providence, a BU, a Lowell, the arena's kind of empty because no students are there.
Right.
But Whittemore still sells out. And out of respect, only the band sits in the student section, and you will literally have people shoulder to shoulder everywhere else in that arena. I love the Wit. Great atmosphere, guys. If you can go. Great for the kids. Maine UNH, I would not bring the kid to that. That is an intense rivalry. Make sure it's not, no one's fighting or anything like that, but it's a great rivalry and it gets loud. Also a fun one to go to. I go to it every year. But the next one up, another top 10 battle, number 4 Maine, number 9 UConn. I've seen Maine play Providence a couple times this year. Seen them play Denver. They show up. They're baller. And
You think
UConn
they're a
defensively,
contender for the championship? We might see them there. I kind of hope we do because they're Jersey.
I hope we do. My fear is the way they came out against Providence at Providence. It was slow, but they kicked.
Yeah, but that's such a tough place to play too, right? Like rank that top 10, one of the toughest places to play in Providence. They have rabid fans too. Like, but they show out, and
they did, and it was a sold out game. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But just the slow start scares me. And then at home, I watched them at home play Denver, and they owned Denver. Davis stood on his head. Like the guy had 21 saves in the first period. So I'm not. But
Denver's doesn't feel like they're the same team that they were last year. I feel like they just haven't clicked like we expect. I mean, they're 21-8 and they're going to be in the playoffs. So
yeah, barring something tragic,
right.
They're in. But it's just Maine has a habit of starting slow. I've seen them play enough times. UConn does not start slow. They have no star power. They have 9 amazing forwards. I'd give them all an A- to B+ range. They have 6 defensemen, again, A- B+ range. But no one's a superstar. They all know that, and it is the most concrete team I've ever seen. That's why they're so high up, and they want a 1 seed. Like, they want to host. They think they're better than BC, and they're trying to prove it, which I love. I love that attitude. I talked to their fans. Talked to a couple of the healthy scratches. They're like, we're the best team in Hockey East. Like, they don't know why. Their mentality is they don't know why BC is number 1, and I love that. Looking forward to seeing that matchup. I'm hoping at least in 3 weeks, the Hockey East tournament. But we will see. But that's the game I wish I could get to. It's only 3 hours away. I'm not going. Last game I want to highlight, though, Western Michigan at Arizona State.
Yeah. Western Michigan, number 5. If ASU sweeps this, are they back in the mix?
Oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then for Western, for all the fans out there, because they got 11 out of the 60 votes in the regular rankings for number 1.
Yeah, they're 22-5.
Yeah, they're a solid team. And one of those losses is at Boston College. Like 3-2.
That's not a bad loss.
No, you lost to Ryan Leonard. All right, Leonard decided he wanted to win the game. And
he did not show up in the BU final, by the way, either. The Beanpot, I didn't think. My bad.
That was not. It was not his best. Hagens was suspended. So.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. So I hope I didn't think I messed up on the tweet. I didn't tag Hot Take. Hagens decided to get into a little scuffle Friday night at I think they played Vermont, and he was out. So he had his 1-game suspension was Beanpot final. You got to.
I did not realize. I mean, I didn't hear his name, so that makes a lot of sense.
He got suspended. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're playing. I remember. I think
he got in a fight in the game, and they suspend him for the next game. What is it? IHHF
in college? If you get a major and a misconduct, so it could be
and a misconduct.
Yeah, you got a misconduct, so you get a 1-gamer, and his next game was the Beanpot final. It's so that's why. But like, even odds wise, BU opened up at +300. I got him at +170 because as soon as I saw the Hagen suspension, I bet it, and it had already plummeted.
Yeah, if you'd have got him at +300, that would have been nice. The beginning of the tournament might have been a better chance to bet him then.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would happen though. But ASU, if you beat Western, you're moving up. You're a 100th of a point.
This is why this UMass Amherst New Hampshire game or series of games, Friday, Saturday, and Western Michigan ASU are a huge game. So if ASU could step up like they did earlier against Denver and sweep them, now ASU's at home, right? So
ASU's at home.
Yeah.
You gotta have it. Even a split helps them because you're beating a better team. Like 15 beats 5. Let's see, even UMass Amherst splits, right? 13 beats 18, 15 beats a 5. Like you're beating number 5.
What if I guess it really doesn't help if Minnesota sweeps Ohio State? That's not going to change much. Is there I know we didn't talk about BC, but they're playing Vermont. I don't know, is that any significant game? Obviously you said they're 24th, but you said Hagen's got thrown out.
So yeah, Hagens is, he's obviously back. He's playing.
Right, but there's some vitriol against Vermont there, maybe.
Yeah. Actually, I want to give a shout out to I didn't get his name. I watched him play number 21 in Vermont. I'm going to grab his name now. I watched him play against Merrimack twice. That kid can play.
Right.
Like, twice. He took the puck coast to coast shorthanded, and the entire arena just went, wow. No one knew what to do. This kid was ferocious. Where is he? Daniel Sambuco out of Springfield, Pennsylvania. The kid's awesome. I hope he gets drafted if he isn't already. Like you made the entire arena, all 3,800 of us, just whoa. No idea who he is until I saw him play live. So BC, watch out for that kid if you haven't looked at him.
Okay. You heard it here first. Sambuco. Hockey East, all 11 teams in the top 24. Your bets are?
My bets are I'm actually going to parlay North Dakota, Michigan State for a half unit simply because they're just massive favorites.
And St. Cloud?
I'm going to keep St. Cloud as a separate one. I'm going to put that as a whole separate bet here.
I'm doing how you wrote it. So
yeah, no, I wrote it that way and I'm like, no.
Nope, you changed your mind. Okay.
Changed my mind. And
that's good.
I don't want to get too greedy. But the reason I'm putting the two big dogs together, they're massive favorites. Michigan State needs a win just because they've been up and down the last couple of games. But, I mean, they're so far ahead of the pairwise. It's comical. And North Dakota, if they are the team that I thought they were in the beginning of the year, like I honestly God still think talent-wise they're a top 10. I don't know what they're doing. They're at 17.
Yeah, you said the coach is an issue there. You said you're not a big fan of his coaching style, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they're not making it this year. I think it's going to be tough for them.
Right,
but we'll still see a whole booth of North Dakota fans.
I love their fans. I may be rocking a Sioux jersey when we're out there, man.
We'll see a whole bunch of them. Yeah, for sure.
But I think they're going to kick it into gear and try to get in. St. Cloud, same story. Like they're actually pretty good at home. And they have a team that is not good on the road. So I'm like, all right, there it is. Plus, they still have that fighting. I'm hoping or betting on them having that fighting spirit. Like we still have a chance outside looking in. And that's why I'm taking those three teams. But finally, I want to give a shout out to the Timberland High School Owls. I know you guys are watching in study hall, so appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah. 9 skaters in the center now playing goalie. First win in 4 years last night, senior night. They got their first win in 4 years.
It's hard to play a game with 9 skaters. And by the way, one of those skaters, everyone, is a pond hockey player.
That's like my men's league team, man. We're skating like 40 minutes a night.
But
dude, I'm not this good.
Yeah, so the centerman who played goalie, like the school's like, you don't like they tried out, 10 skaters showed up. And the school's like, we have goalie pads. And he's like, well, I'm the only one that fits in them. So he's the goalie. Like, that's just how.
What are they watching us on? I'm not seeing a ton of.
I don't know. They said they come on at YouTube, so I'll take their word for it. I know Slater O'Connor, that's the guy I tweeted out last night.
Okay.
He's the one. So it might be him. It might be one guy watching. But I want to give a shout out to those guys. Also, props to Methuen High because Timberland's senior night originally was snowed out. So it was actually Methuen High senior night last night, and they let the Timberland parents come on. So it was like a co-senior night. I don't know. I think it was a feel-good story. I love it. I love stories like this. And again, congrats to the Owls with 9 skaters and an E-Bug goalie coming up with a big 4-0 win. Like that was the highlight for me. And we're going to forget about everything else that happened last night. It was definitely the Owls night last night.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Congrats to those guys winning the game the first time in 4 years. That's under the definition of perseverance for sure. Yeah, so we got some big games this weekend. Did you get anything from the Savage or?
No, him and I will be at the Saturday game, Providence and Lowell.
Okay.
Only playing Saturday. I don't know why.
That's a 8 versus 11. That's going to be an interesting one. Yeah, these schedules in college hockey are so baffling, man, to know how they do
neither
it.
Team plays tonight. Like, why? Put a game in.
They could have something, you never know. Like,
I don't ask. I mean,
it's college. It's college.
Yeah, it is college. I'm also okay with students being students. Like, God forbid these kids actually get an education,
UAA's got a game tonight too. Actually, here in Alaska, Lindenwood. I think it's Lindenwood. Yeah. Lindenwood.
I'm excited for Lindenwood in a couple of years. Actually, I think that program is really going to become something.
Yeah, I would love to be saying that about UAA, but I have not a lot of faith. So Lindenwood 54th, University of Alaska is 60th out of 64. So
I think
the only
Lindenwood
teams
jumps
worse
to
than
the
them are
Big Ten.
RIT, Northern Michigan, Miami, and Mercyhurst. Miami is playing BC too, or Denver. Denver's playing
Denver.
Miami. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's Miami of Ohio, I believe, right?
Yes, it is Miami of
Yeah.
Ohio. Yeah, for those that are concerned, I know last week Savage said bet against them. There, Denver is a minus 20,000. So
Yeah.
for you doing odds, if you put $200 on that, you win $1.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
I'm probably going to put $1 on Miami tonight. Not going to lie.
The
It's
only,
$1.
I mean, if you're getting minus 2,000, you do if you win $1, do you get a $2,000?
They're giving me
If they win?
180. $1 for 180. Like it's
Okay.
$1, guys.
Right. So if you bet like $100, you're making some cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting
Yeah.
W-2s and you're calling in sick Monday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you made some cash.
I'll put $1 on it. Like it's $1. You lose
All
that,
right.
you change the bottom of your car.
What are we looking forward to coming up, man? Like this, we talked about this week, but like, when do the conference tournaments start? We're going to be having a lot of those. Maybe we do a live stream for it if you're not going to a game or something. Or yeah, so if you're
not, we'll work with Merrimack too. They actually have a new broadcasting booth, so Savage and I are there a lot. So I'll try to get in there. But for Big Ten, I want to highlight this: the Big Ten conference does best 2 out of 3, so they start their conference. So
does that really have anything to do with the pairwise at that point, though?
Yes.
Okay, so it still affects the pairwise.
It still affects. But I want to highlight their regular season ends a week early.
So the Big Ten is the first season to end.
Yeah, because they do best 2 out of 3. Everyone else does single limbs.
Right.
So like I think Savage and I were looking at it like we get a game a Tuesday.
Wow, the single limb feels like the right way to go with college hockey, but okay, Big Ten, go with your bad side.
I think they do it because they have a smaller conference. Like they don't have like Oregon. We all know was a football team. They don't have a hockey team in the Big Ten.
Right.
Illinois, same story.
Yeah, USC, but boy, wouldn't it be nice if those teams did? LA, they could have hockey there. There are kids that play hocky there.
The Fighting Illini got a club team in 2019 and said 2020 they would have a varsity program.
I think that COVID probably set them back.
But 5 years?
But you know what though, too, Mike, like it's an odd thing. Colby said like it costs money, and if you add the men's team, you got to add the women's team because of Title IX. It's what's up, Darkness? Good to see you. We're just about to wrap the show. Go back and watch the whole thing from the start. We had a good one today. I appreciate everybody. Mike, fresh off being at the Garden. Was that some pretty fun hockey to watch in person or what?
That was incredible. I want to give, actually, going back to, I want to give a special shout out to the Sweden teams or fans. I was there Monday. They had English translation for their national anthem, handed it out to us so we could read along when she was singing.
That's cool. Yeah, I had never heard the Swedish national anthem sung.
That was so cool. I had no idea what they were saying, but in English, I could read it. I'm like, this is really cool. I thought it was super thoughtful of their fans because it was a cool anthem. I want to give a shout out to Sweden. I didn't get to hang out with the Finns too much. They were I may have had a few beverages with them last night after the USA-Canada game for those that stuck around. Great hanging out with you guys at Hurricanes. So
I thought you were going to go to the world's greatest bar.
Couldn't get in. It's full.
Yeah. I think you had to go down real early because Chicklets were going to be there.
So I think I stayed at the game. So like if you left the game early, you probably could have got in. But for those of us that stayed at the game,
no, I'm talking about before the game, pregame.
Oh yeah, no, couldn't get in. That was cooked.
Yeah.
But, after the game Monday, last night. I'm sorry, I got to go to Hurricanes. They were open.
Does Mikey Grinelli's family still own World's Greatest Bar?
They have a piece of it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And but I mean, honestly, even before they opened it, since they've opened it or since Grinelli got in, it's to my mind the greatest bar. It's got 4 floors, good food, and ample opportunities to grab a drink and open bathrooms. Like they're clean, it's great, and that's something you can't say for downtown Boston bars. Mm-hmm. So shout out to the greatest bar for being great. Hurricanes, you were excellent last night as well. And guys, it's a rule of thumb. You have to have at least one drink at Sully's Tap. And fun fact, Sully's Tap connects both of those bars. You go in one through Sully's, and then there's the other one.
Got to get there. Got to get there for for some games, man. Yeah, bean pot seems like the move. Got to get there for a bean pot. Feels like I could get a ticket really easy, and they play there in TD Garden, so could do all that stuff and get and I found the BC fans were a lot of fun. That was fun to have a couple years ago. And we had it again. We've had it the last two Final Fours where we've had a good contingency of CBU fans. We could have it again. I'm looking forward to it. Mike, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Sorry about last week, folks, but we will continue to have shows Friday up until we are in the Frozen Four, and then we'll do our Frozen Four special, and then we'll kind of wrap for the year. But Mike is going to come on every once in a while, NHL Nightly, as we do that show. Yep. I've got the intro updated. Dude, he's going to bring gambling bets with Rico and Perlo. We've got an NHL, man, like condensed schedule now that the Four Nations is on. We got a ton of games. So we'll be back Monday for the NHL Nightly. I wanted to take some time off during the thing to just kind of do some stuff with the wife and stuff. So she's actually didn't end up going. So super excited to go out to dinner with her and just do normal like adult stuff instead of hockey all the time. But I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much, Darkness, everybody that was in the chat. We'll be back again next Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much.
Go Owls.